Thank you for joining this course on effective leadership, resonant leadership, and how to inspire it in ourselves and others. We'll be going through a number of modules, but in this first one, I'm going to introduce the concept of what is effective leadership. What is the kind of leadership that excites us and make us wanting to bring our game? What I can say is that outstanding leaders know that the music of leadership is emotions, and that people who are really good at leadership are able to help inspire and help us manage our emotions in the process. But I can't convince you of this because 60 years of research in social psychology has made it clear that you don't convince people of things by rational arguments. You convince them by emotional arguments, and then you use rational arguments afterwards to make yourself feel better. You know in your heart what great leadership is. Now you're probably sitting there saying, well, why is he getting so excited? Since 1970, I and my colleagues have been doing these studies where we try to differentiate outstanding and effective managers from average and poor. And we can. And we've done this in managers and leaders in public sector, private sector, nonprofit, large, small, in over 94 countries of the world. But if we look at the data sideways, we come to a very alarming observation that about 50% of the people in management leadership positions aren't adding value in anyone's point of view. Another 20 to 30% may be adding value in one person's point of view. That means that you could take 70 to 80% of the people in management jobs in your organization out of their management role, and the organization would function more smoothly. That's a very sobering statistic. And one of the things it means is that the people that we're exposed to most of the time, day to day, aren't very good at it. And yet, who do we try to emulate to fit in or do a good job? So that's why I got so excited that you have a model inside. In your experiences, you have had the experience of being with somebody who brought out the best in you, who lit you up, who helped to inspire you to bring it all. And that's what we're looking for here. That's the kind of interaction that is really dramatic. If we start to look at what you said, we start to characterize this as a difference between a relationship, which is the second major point I'd like to make, is that leadership isn't just a person. It's not a leader, it's a relationship. You can't be a leader without followers. So we're very concerned about helping you shift your focus in thinking about leadership away from the individual to the interactions, to the relationship. Because what's really important is to look at what happens between the leader and the people around him or her. For our 2002 book, Primal Leadership, we adopted a concept from physics to capture what we were observing in all of the research studies and our reading of colleagues' research. And that is that outstanding leaders are resonant. They're in tune with you, in sync. It's a very different thing than the traditional image of a top-down leader where the leader is the person who sets the goals, the vision, the strategies, and tries to get everybody beneath them in the organization aligned underneath their view. If you mean alignment together in sync, then I agree with you. But this top-down alignment doesn't work. And by the way, for those having a moment of nostalgia, it didn't work in the 50s, and it certainly doesn't work in the military. 35 years of research in the U.S. Navy, Marine Corps, Army, Air Force, British Navy, and a number of other militaries around the world make it very clear that outstanding military leaders don't use command and control. They use, in their words, ask and inspire. So this notion of being in sync with the people around you ends up being a really vital ingredient in this magical moment when people come together and they start to do more than they could have or even thought of individually.